Round one of the fantasy playoffs, and this is the Sunday preview show. A coaching error here could end your season, so let's take a look at every matchup and see if we can identify some potential situations to target or avoid. First off, let's check in on the injuries that we're monitoring. Brees Hall, he looks like he's going to play. Now, the guys who are out right now, Disley, DeMercado, Pickens, that's a big one, Tillman, Ingram, and Rashawn Johnson is now out. Questionable, we have Shepard, McConkey, Downs, Kincaid, and Irving. I think some of these guys play, but most likely it's going to be late today, maybe even 90 minutes prior before you really get an idea of whether these guys are going to play. I hope McConkey plays. That changes everything for the Chargers if he does. Irving, he's a great talent, but if you play him this week, he's probably going to get re-injured, so something to think about. Doubtful is Walker. For some odd reason, they keep playing these games. He's not going to play. Have a backup ready. Aaron Jones had a full practice. Njoku and O'Connell didn't practice. I don't expect either one of those guys to play, but we could get surprised. And then limited, we've got Myers and Pollard. I think both those guys play. Swift, he was limited today, but he didn't practice on Thursday and Friday. I think they're going to play him because they're afraid of Homer behind him. He's still going to get a high snap count, but whether or not he's effective with it, that's the question mark. We'll see if his groin injury is going to hold up on Sunday. I think it will like it did last week. I just don't think he's going to be someone that you're going to want to start. He's really touchdown dependent. Okay, let's start off with the early window of the Sunday games. We'll start off with the Bills and the Lions. It's the highest over-under of the week. You're starting all the normal people here. A great example, if you're stuck trying to decide between two players and one of those guys has exposure to this game, you're going to play him. Now, Coleman's back. It's definitely going to impact Shakir. Shakir's numbers are going to fall off, probably wide receiver 2, type 3 type of numbers. You're still going to play Shakir, but you're really hoping for a touchdown. He's not going to be as dominant as he was when Coleman was out. All right, in the Chiefs-Browns game, the Browns are going to give the Chiefs some trouble. You're going to start all the Chiefs except for Hunt, who really doesn't have a good timeshare, and he's touchdown dependent, even though it is his old team. So there's a little bit of a revenge factor there. Winston is a rough start in this one. He should be benched, but Judy, he's a premium play with Njoku likely out. Don't chase Akins as an Njoku replacement. They're not truly equal unless you're really, really desperate. Also, if you're going to start Chubb, it's a risk here. He's a touchdown boom or bust. In the Bengals-Titans game, this game has a chance to be a scoring fest, believe it or not. Both teams are only playing for pride. Nobody's making the playoffs. Start all your normal Bengals. Although if you have a better option at tight end, I might sit Gesicki here. He's really a touchdown or bust kind of guy. Ridley and Pollard on the other side, they're great starts. Give Akini another chance to redeem himself. I think he gets a touchdown here. Levis could actually come through for you. Crazy as it sounds, if you need to start him in a pinch, if you're in trouble, you've taken some injuries, he could give you 20 or 25. All right, in the Commanders-Saints game, Washington, they should win this easily. And the Saints, they're a run funnel defense, so B-Rob should be a beast. Eckler should get plenty of touches as well. They're both starts. Daniels and McLaurin, they're going to have huge days, I think. But the biggest start here is actually the Washington defense. I mean, Lattimore is playing against his old team. He's back. The Saints are in trouble with Hainer at quarterback. I mean, this is the number one defense play this week, I think. On the other side of the ball, the Saints are starting Havner. He's a train wreck. It's going to be a bloodbath. No one is really startable in this team except for Kamara because he's got a PPR advantage. I will tell you, if you look at Hainer's old starts, he likes to target tight ends and running backs, which most weak quarterbacks do. In that case, Juwan Johnson could be a startable tight end here if you're in a pinch. He could see somewhere between 4 to 7 targets, maybe 50 to 60 yards. You're hoping he gets a touchdown. In the Ravens-Giants game, whether it's Locke or DeVito, it doesn't matter. It's going to be ugly. This is one of the biggest spread disadvantages ever. It's minus 16. The Ravens are going to crush them. Be ready for this. That also means they could sit some players. So we'll talk about that in a second. Neighbors, he's going to have his opportunities, but he's a touchdown or bust, just like last week. And it wasn't a great week last week. Tracy, he'll have a chance at a decent day as long as he gets the touches, which there's a potential he gets plenty of touches. There's also a potential he gets a touchdown in garbage time once the Ravens pull their starters. So I would still play Tracy here. The Giants, they need to stay in the game early or they're going to start throwing heavy. I still think that plays to Tracy's strength. He can catch the ball. Again, the Ravens are favored by 16 here. So if you're playing the Ravens, which you're going to play all the standards, Henry, obviously Jackson, you're going to play Flowers. Bateman, I don't think he's playable. I will say Justice Hill could potentially be a starter for you in a flex position if they pull Henry early. Now, I know Henry is chasing all of his NFL records with 2,000 plus yards and all that kind of stuff, but if it doesn't look like he's going to get it and they're up by like 30 in the fourth quarter, could be Justice Hill time. He could see a couple of rushes. I don't think he's going to get you more than 10 points PPR, but I mean, if you're in a pinch, you're in a pinch. What can I say? It's a playoffs. You got to win, right? Also, you got to expect they're going to pull Lamar, Flowers, and all of these other key starters just to keep them fresh for the playoffs, keep them healthy. So if you're starting these guys, you're really afraid if the game gets out of hand early because they should sit in the fourth quarter. And if they don't, that's a coaching mistake that could cost you the rest of the season. In the Cowboys and Panthers game, Dallas is actually the underdog here. I don't believe that. I think they win outright. That's just my professional opinion. What can I say? Take it for what it's worth. CD is going to play. Dowdle, he's going to crush Carolina. Micah Parsons is just pissed off from last week. He doesn't like losing. I think the Cowboys get the upset here. I still can't believe they're the underdog, but whatever. Carolina, yes, Bryce Young is playing better, but he's not startable here. Hubbard and Thielen are definite starts. Coker's return, though, is an issue. He could pull a couple of targets away from Thielen. Not that many. I still think Thielen has the trust of Young right now, and Young knows that if he's going to remain competitive, he has to get that guy the ball, especially since Leggett can't catch a wide open touchdown to beat the Eagles in a massive double-digit upset. Yeah, I think a lot of people are still really upset about that one. I'd still play Thielen in this game. If you're in a pinch, you could play Young, but you really can't expect more than 20, 25 points from this guy. It's not going to be like you're going to get 3 or 4 touchdowns. All right, in the Jets-Jags game, it's the battle of the 3 and 10 teams. The Jags are a hot mess. The Jets are a hot mess, but the Jets have a good defense regardless of their horrible record. I would not start any Jags except for Brian Thomas Jr. The running backs, Thielen, Bigsby, they both have talent, but the team can't seem to figure out what they're going to do with them. Your best expectation would be 9 points PPR. If you have someone better than that on your bench, you should play them. Now, Breece Hall, he's supposed to come back, but he could only have a mediocre day. It's not like he's had a lot of big days lately. If he's healthy, you got to play him. A-Rod, he's going to get Adams his looks. Wilson should also have a great day. They're both startable, but I don't think A-Rod is. A-Rod really just doesn't throw the ball enough. Even if he gets 2 touchdowns, you're still only looking at 20 to 25 points PPR at best. Moving on to the Dolphins-Texans game, both of these teams have slim but possible playoff hopes, so play them all. Miami, they should be able to run. Don't worry about Mostert's return if you're starting A-Chain. You're obviously going to start A-Chain. I'm not sure that Mostert is a start here. He's a touchdown boomer bust. He has one of those freak games every once in a while where he gets like a touchdown or 2 on the ground and he vultures A-Chain. Let's hope if you're an A-Chain over that doesn't happen, but it's possible. I still wouldn't start Mostert here. There's just not enough consistency out of him. The Tyreek Hill connection is back with Tua. You got to start him. Waddle's healthy. He's startable. Jonas Smith, I still start him. He's a touchdown monster. Even if he only gets 3 catches, he usually gets a touchdown, so that's good. So you're starting them all. With the Texans, you're starting the top 4, Collins, Dell, Mixon, and CJ Stroud. But CJ, he's only going to get 20 to 25 points PPR. You just need to understand that. They're not throwing the ball. He's not throwing for 4 touchdowns a game. Mixon dominates inside of the red zone, and they're really afraid to have him throw to the end zone in the red zone, honestly. So in this particular case, temper your expectations if you're starting CJ, but everybody else should have a good game. Okay, in the late window, we'll start off with the Colts-Broncos. Mix and Sutton are premium plays here. I think they both have outstanding days. McLaughlin looks like he's the new starting running back in Denver, but I'm sure the coaching staff can't wait to prove me wrong, but I'm thinking he's the starter here. On the Denver side, their defense is elite. I expect JT, Pittman, and Richardson to struggle mightily here, especially with Denver close to earning a playoff spot in a must-win situation, and they're in Denver. This is something you want to avoid. Downs, he's questionable. He might come back. I really don't think he's going to play, but be ready to have a backup or be ready to play him. I still don't think you play anyone except for JT, and that's just from an opportunity standpoint. I think Denver rolls these guys up. All right, in the Steelers-Eagles game, obviously both these teams are going to the playoffs. They're huge, but there's a big problem here with Pickens gone. With Pickens gone, that really makes Wilson kind of one-dimensional. He's going to run the ball a lot. He's also going to throw to Freiermuth. I think Freiermuth is a premium play here. I don't see Mike Williams and a couple of extra targets that he got last week really dominating. If he gets a touchdown in this game, it's a fluke, honestly, so be careful here. Philly is susceptible to the run. I still think you fire up Najee and Warren. I've seen other guys saying, oh, you need to sit Najee. That is BS. That dude is running with anger, and you need to start him. I expect him to get a touchdown. The exact opposite of what 95% of everyone else out there is telling you to sit him. Heck no. You start him. Also start Warren because he's a PPR hog. I think he's going to get 6 or 7 catches in this game. But Najee, he's going to run angry. They have to win this game. They know it. On the Eagles side, yeah, they've got some drama between AJ and Jalen. Big deal. You're starting everyone, and I mean everyone, except for maybe Calcaterra, unless you're in a real, bad place. You're not going to start the tight end in this game. Otherwise, you're starting all the key players here. All right, in the Patriots-Cards game, the Patriots are out of it. Cards have an outside chance. They have to win. I think this is going to be a difficult matchup for Drake May. He's not startable here. Hunter Henry should be a focal point if he's healthy, but the rest of the team, they're really unstartable. On the flip side, the Cards, everyone is touchdown dependent except for McBride. You're going to play him no matter what. He's a PPR hog. The Pats are surprisingly a decent defense. So if you're playing Murray, he's not going to water your eyes. You need to temper your expectations going into this game. In the Bucks Chargers, if you're going to play Irving in this game, it's risky. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he re-injured his back in the last one. I think it's all window dressing. I think he doesn't play. White showed that he is really a great running back. He's going to have plenty of PPR opportunities. You have to start White. But if you start Irving, he could easily get re-injured. Watch out. Now, Mayfield, he's a risky play this week. I'd lean towards going in a different direction if you have another backup. Evans didn't really water anyone's eyes last week when he came back. The Chargers can be beaten in the pass game. The question is, will Mayfield take those kinds of chances on the road? Don't chase McMillan in this tough matchup. I know he had 2 touchdowns last week, but it's really kind of a fluke game for him. If you're going to play Otten, he's touchdown dependent, although PPR, he could give you 10 points PPR just based on opportunity. I will say, though, if you're in a place where you're not favored in your matchup, you're down by like 10 points and you need some sort of miracle, McMillan could be that miracle. I doubt it, but if you need a miracle, that could be your guy. Maybe he gets 2 touchdowns in another fluke game. You got to take chances in that case. For the Chargers, their running game, it's pathetic. Edwards, he might get lucky here. He might get a touchdown, so you're probably going to play him because you probably don't have another option. McConkey, hopefully he comes back. If he does, he's a premium start. He should see 9 to 10 targets. If McConkey doesn't come back, Johnston is a start. It's pathetic, but he is a start because he does get red zone looks. Hopefully he holds onto the ball this week. Palmer, if McConkey doesn't play, he is a potential start in a pinch. If McConkey plays, Palmer's not a start. All right, let's talk about Sunday Night Football. Packers, Seahawks. Man, every time these guys get together, there's always some kind of drama. In this game, the biggest drama is Walker's not going to play. They're trying to create drama like he might play. He's doubtful. He's not going to play. It's going to be the Charbonnet show. He's going to have a great game. You're going to play all the usual starters for Seattle to include Charbonnet, except for Lockett. Don't play Lockett. He's gone now. He should probably retire. Green Bay is interesting here. Jacobs is a must start. Kraft will be huge versus the worst defense in the NFL against tight ends. Kraft is a monster this week. For the wide receivers, they're all touchdown dependent. Reed seems to be getting ignored lately, and Watson is getting more of the looks. Dobbs is back. That complicates the picture here. Full disclosure, I have Reed on my team, and I am sitting him because of this. I don't think he gets that much love, and even if he does, I won't feel bad about it because I think every one of these wide receivers are touchdown dependent. All right, in the Monday night doubleheader, first off, we got the Bears-Vikings. Swift, they make it sound like he's not going to play, and now he has a limited chance of playing. I think he plays, like I said. Minnesota is really a great run defense. I don't think he's startable, but I think he plays. Williams and his receivers, they're going to struggle in this game. The Vikings obviously have to win to keep pace with the Lions. Everyone is touchdown dependent on the Bears, so you're taking a risk there. Allen has a decent chance at a PPR, but he was looking more at DJ last week. It's really, what is it, like the 12th offense coordinator they have? So it really depends on who he's going to target. Everybody's a risk on the Bears. Be careful. On Minnesota, you're going to start everyone. You'll be happy. The Bears are kind of scrappy on defense, so Darnold, could be sacked, could have a fumble, could have an interception here, but you're going to start everybody. And then the last Monday night game, it's the Falcons-Raiders. The Raiders are playing for the first overall pick, nothing else. The Falcons are in disarray. You're going to start all of them except for Cousins. I think London and Mooney have decent games. I think Bijan has a huge game, but Cousins and his mojo are gone. It's a good thing they drafted somebody else, but I still don't think Penix is the future, but whatever. For the Raiders, McCormick seems to be the guy they want to get the ball, so you're going to start him. Bowers and Myers, obviously, regardless of the quarterback, you're going to start them because they get their targets at least. Myers, he's limited, but I think he's going to play, so just monitor his status. Okay, there's your quick and easy Week 15 preview. Bottom line is you're going to start all of your usual suspects. There are some tough spots this week, so if you have better matchups, you need to target those. Most of the big names are playing, which keeps the risk down, so that's good. Remember to favor players in potential shootouts on teams that need to win. So when you're choosing between a couple of options, look at those guys. That'll help you make the decision. When in doubt, go with your gut, like I always say. Finally, if you're not favored to win, don't be afraid to go with the long shot that could give you a miracle. We talked about McMillan. Keeney is also one of those guys. Guys who are touchdown dependent, who have a history of coming through with a big touchdown and having like a freakish 17-point day. Good luck in the first round of the playoffs. Manage your flex positions like we always talk about based on injuries and start windows. Before we sign off, I want to give a shout out to our men and women in uniform who protect the freedoms we hold dear. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. And thanks for listening. That'll do it for tonight. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and follow us on X, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you can stay up to date on our latest content. And until then, remember, established dominance isn't just a catchphrase. It's a commitment. Are you ready?